Jerome D'Ambrosio has announced his retirement as a professional racing driver, ending a competitive Formula E career that peaked with his win at the 2019 Marrakesh E-Prix. This was his first ever on-track win, however the record books will show he had already been credited with 2 race victories prior to his triumph in Chile, despite having never stood atop the podium. How this came about is one of the more bizarre stories in Formula E history. An ex-F1 driver for the ReGen team, Jerome D'Ambrosio, has been in Formula E from the very beginning, and at the conclusion of Season 6 he was one of only 4 drivers to have contested every race in the championship. Back in Season 1 he was driving for ReGen Racing, Jay Penske's outfit steadily making progress as the season progressed. By the time of the Berlin E-Prix they were a competitive proposition, but it was Jarno Trulli who stole the headlines by putting his self-titled entry on pole position. The race was a much more conventional affair, as Lucas Di Grassi soon swept into the lead and eased to his first victory since the dramatic conclusion to the inaugural race in Beijing. Or at least it would have been. After the race, the stewards discovered the front wing of the Abschäffler car to have been illegally modified, and the Brazilian was disqualified, handing the win to D'Ambrosio, who had quietly worked his way up into second place. But this was not the last time D'Ambrosio and ReGen Racing would benefit from Di Grassi's misfortune in the stewards' room. Remarkably, the exact same scenario would occur a year later at the 2016 Mexico E-Prix. In terms of outright pace, D'Ambrosio was only 3rd quickest on the day. Buemi and Di Grassi were the class of the field in Season 2, and Mexico was no different. But D'Ambrosio had pole position, and getting around him would prove not so easy on the tight oval circuit. Di Grassi managed it on lap 24, with a daring move aided by fan boost into the first chicane. A lap later and Sebastian Buemi attempted to follow him through, but D'Ambrosio blocked, prompting a furious Buemi to complain on the radio. The Swiss said in his post-race interview, "I don't mind him closing the door, but he has to close earlier. When I'm already committed to overtake him and he closed the door, all of a sudden I can't avoid touching him," which is exactly what happened a few laps later as the Renault Edams clattered into the back of the Dragon, and this time it was D'Ambrosio's turn to air his grievances over the team radio. Buemi made one more attempt to claw his way ahead, but cut the chicane in the process. As he attempted to give the place back, Buemi's teammate Nico Prost barged ahead of D'Ambrosio, who then deliberately cut the chicane himself further round the lap to get back into second. After the race, both Buemi and D'Ambrosio were called to the race director to explain their behaviour, but ironically it was Di Grassi who would wind up disqualified, an underweight chassis this time the culprit. So Jerome D'Ambrosio now had 2 victories to his name without ever finishing in first place, and for a while it looked like this is how things would stay. ReGen elected to construct their own powertrain from Season 3 onward, having previously partnered with Venturi, and would never again reach the heights of their early success. However, a switch to Mahindra for Season 5 presented D'Ambrosio with a new opportunity, which he seized, taking a podium at the Diriyah opener. The following race in Marrakesh saw him running 3rd once again behind the dominant BMWs of De Costa and Sims, but fate would intervene when the Andretti cars collided, eliminating them from a certain 1-2 finish. Now all D'Ambrosio had to do was keep his cool at the front of the train once the safety car pulled in for the final lap. He resisted pressure from Robin Franz to take his 3rd win, relishing the chance to finally celebrate his success on track. Once he had finished screaming over the radio, his engineer instructed him to keep an eye on the tyres, at which point the Belgian did a series of donuts and burnouts all the way back to the pits. The message was clear. As far as D'Ambrosio is concerned, this may as well have been his first victory. In his post-race interview, he described it as a real win, saying, "I've been here since the start, I've been fighting to be in this position, and I'm just thankful for the team, to the people surrounding me, and I'm happy I can pay the team back like this." Unfortunately, as with ReGen, who still have yet to win a race on track, Mahindra struggled to keep up with the ever-increasing manufacturer-driven curve of development in Formula E, and the 2019 Marrakesh E-Prix remains the last time either Mahindra or D'Ambrosio scored a win. The former may yet climb the ranks and make a comeback at some point, but for Jerome D'Ambrosio, he can look back with dignity on his unique achievements in the series spanning its first 6 seasons. You've been watching ReGen. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more anecdotes and analysis from Formula E and Motorsport.